So before we start to look at these videos and understanding the story, how many people here have heard of the term Civil War? Have you ever heard of that term? I just got to and Matthew, have you ever heard of the term Civil War? I think somebody said yes, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right. What do you know about it? What do you think it is? Where do you think a civil war takes place? Is it usually country to country, or could it be an internal war within one country? What do you know about a civil war? And it's okay if you know, but do you know anything about a civil war?
So war between like between countries, or maybe it can sometimes be internal, I guess.
Okay. All right. Matthew, what about you? Have you ever heard the term civil war?
I is country to country.
Country to country. Okay. So actually, a civil war is the opposite. It is actually a war within the same country. So it's actually people in the same country fighting each other. You've probably heard of the Civil War in America, which happened years ago, but it was all based on whether we should keep slavery or abolish slavery. We should keep the southern states wanted to keep the slavery laws working so that they could keep their slaves, while the northern states were like, no, we need to, get rid of that, and everyone needs to be free. And it caused a civil war. So you've probably heard of a war between the North and the South, meaning it's the same country, but part of the country wanted to do things their way, while the other part of the country wanted to do things their way. That's where the Confederate flag came from. The southern states decided to have their flag called the Confederate flag, which meant they wanted to keep slaves in the southern parts of the country. And that started civil war. And a civil war indicates that a war is going on in its own country. So in the story we're going to look at, Greece, and Greece is another country in the world, in Europe, they're going through a civil war. So that means that there is a war going on in that country between two parts of that country. We don't know what the war is based on, but we do know that there's a war, right? People have wars for different reasons. Most times it's usually around choice and freedom. A lot of times it's based on the economy and money, who gets money, who doesn't, who stays in power, who doesn't. Those are usually the what we call core causes, right? The root causes of conflict when it comes to countries. So in this particular story, this couple eventually has to escape or find a way out of that. And a lot of um, people that end up escaping countries where there's war, they're termed as refugees, meaning they're trying to find another safe place to be.
Good morning, Susan. I'm having technical difficulties. Not only can
Sorry about that. So another term we're going to be using today, or we're going to be using for the next couple of days, is called a refugee. So anyone who no longer feels safe within their own country and they need to flee to go somewhere else for safety, for help, we call them refugees. And they usually are in the process of escaping a civil war or persecution, meaning their life is in danger. A lot of times they've suffered violence. A lot of times their family members have been hurt and killed, and this is their only way they can keep themselves safe. Okay. So I wanted to discuss that so that you can get the context in which the couple in this particular story is going through. All right. And and what type of conflict do you think this could be? If they're trying to flee a civil war where parts, maybe the government and the citizens, we're not sure yet, but we know that there's a war going on, a tug of war about something, and they have to flee for their safety. What type of conflict would you probably label this as?
Character versus
Huh?
society. Character versus society.
Character versus society. I feel like that's a big one, right? And I agree with you on that. And in terms, it's basically based on whatever it is. We know it has to do with the fact that whatever's going on with Saeed and Nadia, they don't agree with whatever's going on in the society, right? There's also another portion to this, the fact that they're entering different worlds through a magical door tells us that the genre for this particular story could be fantasy. Okay, it involves magic. So once you enter, or character versus supernatural, but it's not a conflict with supernatural, but we do know that there are magical things happening here. Has anybody here ever seen the movie? And there's a few parts of it. The Witch and the Wardrobe. Is it The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? I think that was the name of the movie. They have the books
Was
too,
the first one.
right? Anybody ever heard of that?
No.
Okay. All right. So there is and Miss Williams just pointed out that was the first part. There is actually a series of books, and they also had created movies about a family, a set of young people who they've discovered a wardrobe in their house, and they would go through this wardrobe and enter a different world. And in that world, I think they eventually became royalty, if I'm not mistaken. Miss
Yes.
Williams could give
Yes,
me
it
the
did.
details. And they fought against bad guys in that world. They were heroes in that world. While in while on Earth, their regular world, they were just regular kids. And in this story, they mention how this couple, the one we're going to read on called Exit West, they enter different worlds and different locations, not different worlds, sorry, different locations in the world through magical doors. This is how they escape, right? Some of the issues that they're going through. So just so you know, when we talk about tag, topic, author, genre, you need to gather that information. What is the story about? Who the author is? What genre? So we've already gathered fantasy. The author is called Moshin Hamid. And we know that the title of the story is Exit West, and we're starting to build the context. We're starting to figure out what the story is about and what type of conflict is happening. So
I think that what you were talking about is the Chronicles of Narnia.
yes, thank you. I couldn't remember the name of the series, The Chronicles of Narnia. Thank you. And The Lion, the Witch, and the Robber is the first part of that story. Thank you. All right. Have you guys heard of The Chronicles of Narnia? Aji, Fatu, Matthew, and
Nope.
no? Okay.
No.
Pretty good series, man. It's pretty good series. All right. So before we do anything, let's take a look at the video. So there's refugee crisis in Europe, and Greek islanders want the refugee crisis over and the migrants gone. So we're going to go into the first video, which is refugee crisis in Europe. Again, these are real world videos. These are not make believe. These are not movies. These are actually news footage of what's happening in terms of the civil war in Europe.
Syria.
The real world things. Okay.
The civil wars in Syria.
In Syria. Thank you. Please let me know if you'll be able to hear. This is from ABC News. Let me just get my screen out the way.
Overseas now to Europe's refugee crisis. Tonight, the human
Todavía no veo, I see me.
borders again this weekend, taking desperate risks for a better life. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Terry Moran with some of those families tonight.
Razor wire failed to hold back the tide of humanity flooding Europe. Here, little children coming into Hungary. 700 in one day, while the police here holler in futility, go back. Hundreds of thousands of people are now on the move. A river of refugees flowing from war and terror in Syria and beyond through Turkey, Greece, Macedonia, and Serbia in the Balkans into Hungary, then Austria, Germany, and the rest of Europe. They are risking everything. In Austria, authorities now say 71 people, including children, died in that abandoned truck. 4 men arrested for trafficking appeared today in court. And still they come.
Okay. So
We met Zainab walking with her boy.
I'm gonna pause it for a second so I can ask a question. First, were you guys able to hear the video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What are some of the issues you're hearing coming up in this crisis? Anybody hear some of the issues that came up? Want to see if you're able to identify one issue.
I think that there's war in Syria.
Yeah, there's a war in Syria. Good. I heard somebody say they were arrested some people for human trafficking. Have you ever heard that term before?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Like when people, like, I don't really know how to explain.
Explain. Okay. But you know it has to do with people doing something to people. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So human trafficking involves taking people against their will and basically exploiting them. So you could kidnap people and exploit them to use them as slaves. You take them and you force them to do things that they don't want to do, but it involves taking them away from their homes, from where they feel safe, and forcing them into situations with strangers that they don't want to be in. That's like a very vague, wide definition of human trafficking.
Also, usually one of the things that people get arrested for human trafficking is moving people across the border for money, right? So if I brought people from Mexico in my car and they're illegal, they're not supposed to be in the United States, I could be arrested for human trafficking, even though those people paid me money to do it.
Right. So it's illegal.
Yes, it's illegal. It's illegal transport of people from one place to another.
So what Ms. Williams is pointing out is it's not just when you're taken against your will. It can also be involved that you want to go, but as long as it's illegal and you take people across borders, that's not allowed. That's not a legal way to do it. It's also considered trafficking. Okay. Right. The most common one that people associate the word trafficking with, though, is when
against your will.
It's against your will, but that is a good a good distinction to make. So far we know there's a war. We know people are being smuggled, right? That's another term. Let's see what else goes on here in the video.
The road about a mile from the border. You want a beautiful life for him.
Beautiful life for my son.
She and her husband Nahad are from Gaza. Their house was bombed in the war with Israel last year. It's been a long journey. He says he's walked so much, his shoe size has gone up. Their little boy just can't go on.
Look, my baby, look.
They still have such a long way to go. Terry Moran, ABC News, on the Hungarian-Serbian border.
Okay. So that's the first video. Refugee crisis in Europe intensifies. And we heard from the mother. Did anybody remember what the mother was saying? What are some things she was saying she wanted?
She want a better life for her son.
She want a better life for her son. The host or the reporter is saying that they're saying that the son is tired, right? Doesn't want to go any further. So it's not an easy situation to be in. Okay. Hence the name crisis. Refugee crisis in Europe intensifies. Does anybody remember where these refugees are coming from?
From Syria.
Very good. From Syria, which is in Europe. All right.
In the Middle East.
In the Middle East, specifically. All right. I'm going to now show the next video. The next video is a little bit longer. It's called Greek Islanders Want the Refugee Crisis Over and the Migrants Gone. Okay, so now it's a different perspective. So this one talks about refugees leaving a country, wanting to leave. They want a better life. I suspect the next video might have another perspective. Let's take a look.
This is my house. Good. But I'm taking his food. I'm eating the here.
Omar and Mustafa are brothers who fled the Syrian city of Aleppo in the summer of 2019. Like most people living here, they came to the island of Samos via Turkey. When you decided to come to Europe, is this what you expected?
ما اعتقدت اني راح يكون الوضع مثلا هيك سيء لهالدرجه وعم بوقف على اللاين 7000 يعني مشكله اللاين عم يصير مشاكل باللاين بين الافغان والعرب المطر اللي هون اذا بيصير هون مطر يعني الكل بيعرف عم نموت بالبرد هون نحن كان هدفنا إني أروح على ألمانيا من أجل أمي وأختي، وبالأخص إني يعني أنا أول شغلة أمي لي 6 سنين مو شايفة. أنا هدفي كان أطلع لألمانيا وما قدرت، يعني ما قدرت حتى لدرجة إني هي حالتي هون.
Since the European migrant crisis began in 2015, the population of the island's biggest town has doubled due to the new arrivals. Today, there are 7,200 migrants in a hillside camp built to house just 700 people. In the 5 years since the crisis started, borders across Central and Northern Europe closed, leaving new arrivees trapped here. Greece, a country slowly recovering from near economic collapse, is left to act as Europe's detention centre, and the mood on islands like Samos has become increasingly tense.
Okay, I'm pausing right there. We're reading the subtitle or the subtitles, and we're seeing what this lady is saying. What is the mood of the people who are in the country that the Greeks have escaped to? How do they feel? Do they want the refugees there?
Nah, they don't feel comfortable there.
They don't feel comfortable there. The people don't want them there. You heard what the lady said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? If you're coming from Greece, you should hang yourself, and those who help them should so say that they don't like the fact that these folks are escaping there for help. Okay. And I just wanted to make sure you guys saw both perspectives. So when people decide to flee their own country, whether it be for a better life, whether it be for safety, whatever the situation, it's not easy for the refugee, because they do know that, or they fear that when they get to this new place, they won't be treated nicely, right? They can be prosecuted, they can be harmed, they can be exploited. So it's not an easy situation to be in. And if you notice, when we first started watching the video, what are the living conditions like for the refugees? Were they living in nice, posh houses?
Nah, they living like
in
a bad situation. I don't know how to explain.
Yeah, bad situations. They looked like they were living in tents and huts, right?
Yeah.
And where did you notice they said they were going to eat? They said they take their food and they go eat where? Are they going to a dining room to eat? Right, where are they eating?
And like some rock, it looks like a rock, something, I don't know.
Right, on the ground. They're eating outside on the ground. So I just want to put that out there because I want you guys to start putting yourself in the place of the refugees, as well as the people who feel like, well, they're coming into our country and it's not okay. You have two perspectives, right? Because as you read the story Exit West, it will give you some, have you start to what we call infer, start to analyze and really look at things differently based on what usually promotes someone's actions or causes them to do things. And that's the thing about conflict. Conflict usually influences. This is what we call its implications. That's the whole name of the unit. What does conflict cause? What about conflict, that particular conflict causes someone to do something or say something or not do something? That is the whole premise of this unit, okay? So good readers, good writers, they tend to look at the deeper level of something they watch, something they read, so that when they share the story or they respond to the story, they have more to say, right? They can shed some light on the deeper issues that happen. Let's continue.
بالجزيرة معاملتهم مو كويسة أبدا، يعني تمشي بالشارع تحسهم رح ياكلوك بعيونهم، يعني نظراتهم كثير هيك بتبين إني بشعة شوي، عرفت كيف؟ أنا بدك على عدم مؤاخذة، وين أنت كنت ببلدك ولا ببلد ولا هيك؟ فهمت علي؟ يعني بدها تقرر إنه نحن كنا 7000 كنا مرتاحين، صاروا 7000، يعني لما أنا بواحد بدهم يرحلوا اللاجئين اللي هون من الجزيرة، ما بدهم لاجئين، وعملوها كذا مظاهرة حتى لدرجة إنك لما تمشي بالشارع بتطلع على واحد يوناني بتلاقيه يا زلمة بده يطلع، بده يذبحك وبضل ماشي طريقه، يعني بس عرفت كيف؟
Samos is one of 5 eastern Greek islands struggling to absorb the influx of people, including refugees from war zones and economic migrants, mostly from West Africa. Yorgos Stansos is the mayor of East Samos and leads a local council struggling to find a solution to the migrant crisis.
Τους μετανάστες πρόσφυγες πλέον διαχειριζόμαστε χαρακτηριστικά κορυφαίας ανθρωπιστικής κρίσης. Το κράτος εμφανίζεται λειψό.
Policing the island is now the #1 concern for local residents.
Σαφώς και υπάρχει γενικότερα αύξηση στην εγκληματικότητα. Αυτό σημαίνει ότι ο ίδιος αριθμός αστυνομικών καλείται αυτή τη στιγμή να αντιμετωπίσει.
Okay, let's pause there. So what are some of the issues that the locals are saying are happening since the refugees have come into their city? What are they saying is happening? Anybody pick that up?
That they're committing more crimes.
Right.
Since they got there.
Thank you. They're saying that the crime rate has gone up, right? Someone mentioned something about picking apart the hotels. So they're now blaming the refugees for the crime rate, right? We don't know if that's true or not. We don't know if there's a direct correlation, but based on what they're sharing in this meeting, they feel like a lot of the crime rate that has gone up is due to the fact that these refugees have come into their city, right?
Well,
So
also the population, I think, has doubled.
Yes, the population has doubled. They don't have the space. You see all of those
tents
that they have strewn on the hill. That's for people coming and setting up places to live, because those were not original places set up for people to live. And if you're someone who deals with property, or you deal with borders and how you properly go about setting up neighborhoods, that's not how you do it. You can't just, what they call it, what's the term?
Squatting.
Squatting, right. You can't just see a piece of land, although we can argue that's what our history is based on, but you can't just see a piece of land and say this is mine and set up a tent. That's not how it works. You usually go through some legal.
You have to buy it. You have to pay taxes.
Right. There's laws involved. That's how we keep the community thriving, right? So these are some of the issues that are starting to pop up that the local community members are complaining about. All right, let's continue. So when you talk about different conflicts in this video, besides the whole issue of refugees coming and not being treated nicely, which we consider character versus society, there are other conflicts happening here, right? Where it also seems like you could also have character versus character, the locals versus the refugees, and what are some of the issues they have. Okay.
Μια εγκληματικότητα που έχει αγγίξει αύξηση στο 300%.
Έχουμε μια δύναμη η οποία έχει πάλι να αντιμετωπίσει τον πληθυσμό και μόνο που πλέον διπλασιάζεται ο πληθυσμός.
Φύγετε όλοι από εδώ, φύγετε. Even Mayor Stansos struggles to remain calm.
Θέλουμε λύσεις αυτή τη στιγμή να φύγουν από το νησί. Τέλος, δεν υπάρχει άλλη λύση. Τέλος.
The frustration on the islands isn't just aimed at the refugees, migrants, and NGOs.
Please close the gap. Please close the gap.
Our cameras were snatched away and one was thrown into the sea. Obviously, the situation here on Samos is very volatile. People are very frustrated, very angry, as we saw ourselves. Can you talk about how people feel here?
Έχουμε μια σημαντική οικονομική ζημιά, μια σημαντική κοινωνική, πολιτιστική, κοινωνική, ποικιλοτρόπως ζημιά. Δεν έχουμε δει λοιπόν καμία έμπρακτη βοήθεια. Οι 8.000 που είναι εδώ και οι 40.000 που είναι οι υπόλοιποι στα νησιά Για μας είναι πλέον ένα νούμερο εφιαλτικό για όλους.
When the Deputy Prime Minister visited here, he talked about making conditions less attractive for the migrants, instituting closed camps for them. Do you think that's actually going to help?
Κοιτάξτε, αυτός ο σχεδιασμός, όπως ανακοινώθηκε τουλάχιστον από τον Πρωθυπουργό της χώρας, δεν το έκρυψε από την πρώτη στιγμή, κατεγράφηκε σαν απολύτως θετικό και για μένα και για μας ως Δημοτική Αρχή. Συμπορευτήκαμε, θέλουμε να κλείσει το κέντρο αυτό της ντροπής και νομίζω ότι τα 24 ώρα τα οποία τρέχουν πίσω μας επαληθεύουν τις χειρότερες ανησυχίες ότι είναι κάτι που ήρθε να παραμείνει και δυστυχώς γιγαντώνεται. Τα πάντα. Ανησυχώ για τα πάντα. Ανησυχώ για την επόμενη ώρα. Είναι τόσο το πλήθος που την επόμενη μέρα μπορεί να γίνει κάτι κακό.
But for Mayor Stansos and his colleagues from the Greek islands, the changes aren't happening fast enough. So they travel to the capital, Athens, to demand a meeting with the new migration minister.
Εδώ είμαστε στην ίδια πλευρά του τραπεζιού. Το θέμα είναι πώς μπορούμε σε εθνικό επίπεδο να μειώσουμε τις ροές, να αυξήσουμε τις επιστροφές και να μοιράσουμε πιο ισοβαρός το βάρος κρίσης. Μπορούμε να το διαχειριστούμε. Αυτό είναι μια πραγματικότητα. Μας έχει ξεπεράσει και πρέπει να βρούμε μια λύση που δεν...
The new Conservative government promised to deport more than 10,000 migrants from across Greece by the end of this year. To do that, they've pledged to speed up processing the asylum claims of refugees and migrants and to shut down all the island camps, replacing them with secured, closed facilities, meaning people inside won't be free to leave after dark. Others will be sent from the island camps and dispersed across mainland Greece.
I understand the pressure the islands are facing. I also come from an island. At this stage, we have the island sharing an unequal burden versus the rest of Greece, but also the rest of Europe.
How do the policies of the new Greek government differ from those of the previous government?
We have introduced a specific program to create new camps that will have more appropriate living conditions, that will be multifunctional, will allow us to accelerate the asylum process, and will allow us to house those that have applied for international protection in a more humane way. We expect to complete this project by summer 2020, at which time the old camps, which are now well exceeding their capacity, will no longer be needed.
Is the policy of dispersing the migrants and refugees to the mainland, are you not just spreading the problem to new areas?
The key priority of this government is to reduce the flows, but at the same time, we need to make sure that the islands do not carry all the burden of this crisis.
They're talking, I think, about closing down this camp and putting everyone in a closed camp, like a detention camp. What do you think about that?
يعني على الأقل هون فينا تنزل لتحت يعني تشم هواء لو قد ما كانت مسبات معنا عادي يعني بتشم هواء عادي واحد ناقصين جزيرة وبكم أنا شو بيعرفني إذا واحد يضل يستنى فيها سنة بالكم بالمغلق بصير في انتحار ما بشوف غير عن انتحارات حتى هون كل أسبوعين بصير في انتحاري واحد منهم فلسطيني أو هيك فما أدرك هسه بالكم بالمغلق شو بده يصير واحد فيه يعني فوق كل السجن هسه سجن ثاني.
Wow. So you see what some of the side effects are. Let me stop sharing. You see what some of the side effects are for some of the refugees. They're telling you that people are actually committing suicide, they're not happy, and now they're going to make more restrictions. They're going to now have a closed camp and spread them out even further. So it's a tough situation to be in, right? Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now that we've gotten some background information on what are some of the issues that happen with folks who have to flee their country due to civil war or other issues and what happens when they get there, that gives us an understanding of what our two main characters are going to go through in the story Exit West. Good morning to those who came in. I think it's Adam and Jesus. Good to see you guys. What we're doing now is we're moving into the second portion of the assignment for today. And as of course, it's going to involve you guys.
You can hear me, Mr. Morris?
Pardon me?
You can hear me?
Yeah, what did you say? I didn't hear you.
I said you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Jesus.
Oh, I'm sorry. So my mom's at work right now. I was getting my sister on her school. That's why I'm late. That's the reason.
All right.
She's good. I got her situated. So now I'm just not getting up mine. And good morning.
Good morning. Glad to know you made it. Okay, so
Right.
just a reminder, or for those who just came in, there's 2 assignments that have to be submitted. I will change the due date so that it is due on Monday. We just finished watching both videos that gave us some context into what's going on with refugees and escaping from their countries. There is a story that you will read. It's called Exit West, and it's written by Mashin Hamid. Again, when you guys begin your response to lit, you have to start with the tag, topic, author, genre. We looked at that last week, and I'm here helping you gather that information. The topic, I mean, it's not topic, sorry, title is Exit West. The author is Mashin Hamid. So what I would suggest folks do is pull up their copy of this day 6 assignment and highlight those things so that when you're ready to write your response, you have the information. We explained that the story is about a young couple called Saeed and Nadia that escape a civil war in their country and what they go through. There is a spin. It is a fantasy story because it involves them leaving their countries through magical doors. So it's not the usual realistic type of personal essay where it's going to seem just as what we saw in the videos. It involves a little magic to it. And we just completed watching the 2 videos that give some context into what refugees go through. So for those of you who came in later, at some point you probably need to watch at least one of the videos so you can get an idea of what the issues Saeed and Nadia go through. What I need from you now is when you pull up your day 6 handout, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. I need you to reflect on the video. We stopped a couple times in the video and we discussed some things that we noticed. We talked about the attitudes of the people on the island once these refugees came into their island, what they had problems with. They talked about the crime rate going up, the overcrowding, I guess the limited resources that are now being spread out. We saw how the mayor reacted. The mayor was very upset. He was very rude. They started to get physically violent with people who were videotaping their reactions. And did you hear what one of the refugees said at the end of the video? Do you recall what he said might happen to people as they start to spread them out into those close camps? What was his fear? What was he afraid of?
That they were committing suicide.
Right. The suicide rate was probably going to go up some more, right? People are going to be so unhappy that the people are already killing themselves and now it's going to get worse. So I want you to take a minute and I want you to reflect on what okay? Yeah.
They're killing themselves?
Yes, it's deep. It's a deep situation. And the sad part about it is this is real. This is not even
God bless.
Right? This is real. So go ahead, reflect. Give me at least 1 or 2 examples of something that you saw in the video that resonated with you, that made you stop for a second and think. You get 2 minutes to do that part. After you reflect, this is what I expect from folks. I just need you to read the story. That's all I need you to do this weekend is read Exit West. Can we manage that, guys?
Definitely. I'll do the work this weekend. But Miss Morris, what is this called?
I'm sorry, what you said, Jesus?
Is the assignment that you're talking about now identifying the central conflict? And
yes, it's the number 9 assignment. That's what we're on.
I got you.
Yes. And you're going to be doing 2. I'm sorry. Somebody say.
I got you. No, that was my
Okay.
I was talking to my
and
sister.
It's 2 assignments. You were looking at the handout now as well as the Texas graphic organizer. Okay. So I was just reviewing the handout. So right now, everyone's writing a quick reflection on what we watched in the videos. You can pick any video. You can mention both videos. Doesn't matter. I need about a couple sentences where you're showcasing something that you're reflecting on. And then for the weekend, all I ask is for you to read the story. You can click here to get the story, as well as if you go into your assignment section, there is a separate copy of the story for you to look at. Okay, so you decide where you want to read the story. You can read it on your own by itself on a Google Doc, or you can just click here inside, embedded inside a handout, and read the story. When we come back on Monday, we're going to answer these questions in class. Okay, it's not, I don't think that's a lot. I know you guys have to work on your story with the Community Word Project, hence why I'm just asking for this assignment. You just read the story. Can we do that? Yes, can we all do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We can do that, Miss Morris. We could really do that.
Thank you. Who said that? Is that Adam?
That was Jesus.
Who?
Jesus.
Okay, thank you.
Damn, you thought I was Adam?
I don't know. I can't.
I don't even know who that is. No offense, Adam.
I thought that was Adam, but Adam and Matthew and who else is in there? Emmanuel. Are you guys saying yes as well? Because I didn't hear you.
Yes, miss.
All right.
Yes.
Matthew. I mean, that was Matthew. All right. Emmanuel and who am I missing? Adam, right? Is that a yes?
I didn't hear what you said, miss.
All right. Emmanuel, for the week, right now, you're going to write a reflection on what we watched in the videos, 1 or 2 sentences on your copy of this, okay?
Oh, okay.
And then on the weekend, you need to read the story Exit West.
Okay.
That's all I asked for the weekend. So is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Who is that? Who else is in the class? I can't see.
Miss, I think there's no school on Monday.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot. And we talked about it this morning and I still forgot. So then maybe you guys can answer the questions then, since you don't have school on Monday. It's only 3 questions. I think we could do that then. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Who said that? Emmanuel, yo, we got beef. We got beef, bro. Where you at?
Oh my God.
It's not a lot, guys.
Jesus.
You can answer the questions.
That's Manuel. That's Manuel ringing your doorbell, Jesus.
All right. So
All right. Okay,
you guys should have been done with the
Okay, so by now you should have been able to reflect on the video. So we have about a couple minutes. I'm going to ask people to share. If you have not written it down yet, I'm pretty sure you can verbalize something that stood out for you in the video or videos. And then from there, we'll let you guys go. So let me ask Matthew, what's one thing that stood out to you in this video, or something that you noticed was important, something that you can connect with? Can you go ahead and share for me, please? If you're speaking, Matthew, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Miss, what was the question?
You're giving me a reflection on the video. This is the first part of the worksheet. You're supposed to reflect on the video, meaning giving me something that stood out, something you noticed in the videos. Can you share that verbally? What is one thing that stood out for you in the video, or something that you noticed that was important?
Communication.
Communication, what do you mean?
Like when those guys was recording.
Okay. What
spread
about?
To the internet, people found out.
Okay, so you feel like that was something important, right? And why was that important? Why do you think that was important? Are you saying that it's a good thing, or do you think they shouldn't?
Yeah, it's a good thing because yep, those people.
It helps people. So it brings awareness, right?
Yeah.
Very good, Matthew. So that's what you need to write, okay? You need to mention the significance of the reflection. Why is that important? Always say why, okay? And that's a good point. It's important for those people to show what's going on, and it seems as if they wanted to hide. Those people wanted to hide some of their reactions, because I'm sorry, but if you're the mayor and you're telling people F off, get out of here, you don't want to be recorded doing that, right?
Yeah.
You don't want people to see that. So when people say, they're not treating us well, they're harming us, people might say that's not true, but by videotaping it, you can't deny that, right? Very good. Okay. All right, guys, it's that time. It's 9:13. So I ask again that you reflect on the video. I need that in the section that says reflection, just like what you saw Matthew and I do. After you mention what that situation is that's significant, you need to say why. And then you're going to work on reading the story and answering those questions. And I guess I won't see you guys till Tuesday. And Tuesday, I think we'll have Chaya and Joshua back.
And Wednesday.
and Wednesday. So
And
that
Thursday.
won't Thursday. So that means we won't be able to connect once again until Friday. So it's very important that you guys get this done on your own. And again, I'm here for office hours if you need help. For those of you who just came in later, remember I sent out your progress report so that you know where you're at with your grades. We only have a few weeks left or a couple of weeks left of the semester. So be safe, be well, enjoy your 3-day weekend, and I'll see you guys soon, okay?
Bye.
Yes, we don't have school on Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day.
Only Jesus does.
All
Hi, Miss
right.
Grace. How are you?
Bye.
Bye, guys. Hi. Who's saying hi?
That's me, Mrs. Patrick.
Oh, hey, Mrs. Patrick.
How are you?
I'm all right. It's been a while. How
I
are
know.
you?
I'm
Buenos
pretty
dias,
good.
Miss Patrick.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yes, yes. All right. So Adam and Jesus, you can go to your next class. This class is over.
I'll put him in the waiting room.
Okay. All right, let me take attendance real quick. So I saw Aji, Matthew, Emmanuel, Adam, and Jesus, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you have 5.
Okay.
Oh, I was trying to put him in the waiting room, and then I realized I was not co-host.
You're host.
I'm host. I'm
Yes.
not anymore. Remember, I got kicked off.
Oh, I did not know anything about that. I didn't get the memo.
It's okay.
Yeah, let me host you.
Let me put him in a waiting room. So I put Jesus in the waiting room and Adam.
You should have it, Miss Williams.
Okay.
All right.
Try not to get kicked out.
You made Miss Fitzpatrick the host.
All right, Mrs. Patrick, you got the next 2 classes.
No, don't make me the host. I don't know what's going on.
Resend it.
Men in the
Sorry. You can say for a few seconds you were a host.
They made me the host in another class.
What about now, Miss Williams?
You're the hostess with the mostest.
I'm the hostess with the mostest now.
Good morning, everyone.
Guys, you have a good day.
Let's make Miss Stewart the host.
Hey, because you can't see me? Good morning, Dr. Rascoe.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Dr. Rascoe, I have to say that oomph you had the other day is gone now. We all feel the same. We all feel
another
the
rough night, I guess.
Yeah. All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good day.
Bye, Miss Morris.
Have a good day, Miss Morris.
Enjoy your weekend.
Oh, yes. Happy Friday.
Yes, indeed. Friday.
Woo.
It's Friday.
Friday, yes. I forgot Monday was Martin Luther King.
Shame on you.
No, you know what it is? It's because every day is running together. I don't believe it.
Exactly. That's why. I'm just
Yes,
what day it is.
that is so true.
Like, do I even have to look at a calendar if I don't have to leave my house?
Yes, you do.
What's a calendar?
Exactly. I'm like,
what's
wait,
that?
You mean they're still using days and hours and stuff?
Yes, we have
I
clocks.
thought that because of the pandemic, we stopped using those.
Me too. That's it. It's finished. Good morning. Buenas. Glad to see you
Good
guys.
morning.
Hi, Dios Nelly. Hi, Aji. Hi, Aaliyah. Hi, Kipchoge.
Miss, I didn't log on to the class yesterday because I was having some problems with my computer.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad it's fixed. Glad to have you back. Good morning, Diola.
Mr. Cruz.
Hi.
Yo.
There is a task that I inserted into Google Classroom.
No, there isn't.
It's a person versus society conflict. Would you please, when you get a chance, look at it and determine if it needs to be translated?
Which one?